Today, I'm beating one of the toughest games I've ever played with save states. Welcome to Retro Roulette, where we're spinning the wheel of Sega Genesis today. What game will we get? Will it hold up? Only the wheel will decide. Battletoads for Sega Genesis, very exciting. Now, before anybody jumps on, you're not a real gamer, you're using save states. Yeah, I don't care. I'm not spending 45 hours playing Battletoads. It took me about 3 to 4 hours beating this thing with save states. This game was released in '91. It's going for about $50 right now. After doing a little research, apparently the NES version's a little tougher than this one. That's okay. I'm just going to dive into the Sega one because that's what we landed on the wheel. The wheel has decided we cannot go against the wheel. I never actually owned this game. I rented it multiple times. I probably only got to the speeder jet level, and that was it. So the Dark Queen has kidnapped Pimple and Angelica. Now it's your job to go save them. I feel like everyone who's played this game knows what the beginning is like. You got your big fists, you're wailing some pig men. It's a good time up front, right? He's got the kendo staff. Good lord. You know what doesn't get enough love is that boss level at the beginning of the first level where POV of the mech and he's shooting at you and you're in charge of chucking rocks into it. This is the only part of this game that's like this. I wanted to do another level like this, but no, it hits you and then it just leaves you wanting more. After that, we all remember dropping into the second level like we're, part of Rainbow Six. So I'm turning into a wrecking ball and smashing into the brave little toaster. I'm surrounded by movie candy. A pile of hot tamales on the side there. That's all hot tamales. The infamous turbo tunnel is next. Everybody talks about the speeder jet part of this. I forgot about the Guido rats, right? They're wearing their wife beaters. They got a wig on for some reason. I don't know why they look this way. Is that Templeton? It's more like the biker mice with SARS, dude. When I get to the speeder jet level, it's easier than I remember, actually. Dude, this place filled with Pop-Tarts. Is that toaster strudel? Maybe it's because I remember the NES version. I only had to continue once on this part, okay? I still haven't used a save state. What? Yep, that's what it feels like when you fall in the pit of balls at the Discovery Zone as a kid. And then everything after this level is new to me. If you think the speeder jet level was tough, the rest of the game is trying to hammer a nail with a hot dog. The next level is the Arctic Caverns. Not my least favorite level, but probably my second least. I hated this level. I'm dodging icicles, death pizzas, and the Toad's worst enemy, a snowball. It's a snowball, bro. There's a lot of memorization here. You'll be running along. A snowball comes out of nowhere off camera. You're nailed. These snowmen are chucking these things like crazy. You got to use the ice blocks, then you got to dodge them. Like, it is a nightmare. There's a lot of falling and jumping at the right time. Very tough. Not a fan. Hated every moment of this level. After this, we have Surf City. You're bouncing over logs. You're trying to avoid these whirlpools. There's these rocks that look like they have like warts or they have boils on them. Can they pop? They full of pus? I don't know. It's disgusting. I don't like these rocks. That said, this level's much easier. I got through this pretty quick, which leads us to the next level, which is my least favorite level in the game. I fucking hate this level. The snake pit. What are you doing to that worm, dude? Snakes are flying out of the walls. You got to time your jumps and you got to land on them. The problem is the collision detection is all over the place. It's infuriating. Through his head. The goal of this level is you got to keep hopping on these snakes and you got to get to the top of each section of the level. And it gets harder and harder as you go. They're coiling around these spike balls. They're flying at breakneck speed. I would not recommend this level. Really made me dislike the game at this point. I was like, fuck this game. I don't want to play this anymore. But we persevered. The relief I felt after beating this was like beating 1,000 Elden Ring bosses. It was unbelievable. Next is the Fire Zone. Definitely a lot easier than the Snake Pit. The Sopranos rats are back. I did like the fighter jet level. It was kind of tough, but like, it was fun. There's these electric currents you're trying to fly through. So you're zipping like you're fucking Maverick, right? This level's fun. I'm starting to like it again a little bit here. Next is the elevator shaft. Platforming is a nightmare in this level. I don't know what this yellow goo is. Is it caulk? How is it jumping? How is it sentient? What is this stuff? Who invented it? It doesn't make sense. You're bouncing from one trampoline to the next. All of a sudden, there's some poison gas set up that chokes out the toad. He doesn't react well. I always wonder how the bad guys navigate these levels, right? Like, do they just have a key that takes an elevator in the back room to the top? You got to fight a boss with a machine gun and what looks like a football helmet. He's not too bad. The levels are tougher than the bosses, actually. Once you figure out the pattern, they're pretty straightforward. You get to the ducts of the gargantuan ship, which I assume are just shit pipes at this point. I'm getting chased by these giant sprockets like I'm some sort of sewage Indiana Jones. I'm swimming around. I'm getting nailed by what I'm calling shit sharks. They're all over the place. You make it through the pipes, and then you get to the ship, the gargantuan, okay? The bad dudes, or whatever you want to call them, have planted bombs on the ship for some reason, their own ship, and they're racing down to the bottom of the ship to, I guess, kamikaze themselves. They're going to go set off this bomb by hitting a button on the bomb. They don't have remote controls for some reason. Your mission is to beat them down to the bottom. And the way you stop the bomb, you kick it. You know, classic bomb maneuver. You always see the movies when they're talking about the red or the blue wire. If they would have just kicked it, that would have solved everybody's problem. So if you ever see a bomb out there and you need to disarm it, just give it a kick. I didn't mind this level. I kind of liked racing the Guido rats down to the bottom. I was memorizing exactly how to fall so you didn't have to touch every single platform. I was just fucking zipping and zapping. It made me wonder why I needed to Rainbow Six into the other levels if I could have just fallen to the bottom. The level ends with this like boss Viking guy, and he attacks you by taking a knee and hitting you with his head. That's kind of his only move. Not a tough boss. Pretty simple. Knocked him. He's gone. See ya. Next level is called the Klinger Winger, where you're kind of manning this. Looks like one of those industrial mops you use to clean like a school or something. I'm chased by this like pink blob thing. I don't know what it is. Not really a creative boss here. You have to fight the pink blob once you reach the end. Not a hard level. Pretty simple. Then we get to level 12, which is the last level. It's called the Revolution. You start at the bottom of Dark Queen's tower, and you got to jump and platform all the way up the tower. It's this circular tower that you can kind of run around. I do love the animation of when you knock a guy out, he kind of spirals down the tower, which is pretty cool. We're getting up into the clouds here, and there's some angry ones, okay? They're huffing, they're puffing, they're trying to blow my house down. I'm holding on to rods as I'm getting blasted, right? Or as you get higher, the platforming gets tougher, the clouds get angrier, the winds get stronger. I mean, after a long time, I finally made it to the top. I get to face off against the Dark Queen, which, by the way, is huge. I looked it up. Rash is 6'3". That makes the Dark Queen, I don't know, 20 feet tall. Her thighs got to be tree trunks, bro. Can I side with you? Can I be in your chambers? That said, she's definitely a contender for one of the hottest retro video game characters. Who's your hottest retro video game character? Let me know. Maybe we'll do a list. The boss fight's not that hard. She turns into a tornado. You just dodge her, and then you just attack when she's not a tornado. It's pretty simple. Not a tough end fight, especially after scaling a tower like that. And then the game kind of ends abruptly. And I guess there's an animation in the NES version that's not in the Sega version of the Toad's ships coming and saving him. But I do save Pimple. I do save Angelica. I'm a hero. And that is Battletoads. Overall, I would still say it's a really fun game. Even though it's a nightmare to beat, it's not bad. I wouldn't say this is one of my favorite NES games. I like the first few levels a lot. I mean, those are legendary, don't get me wrong. But that said, we're going to rent this game multiple times.